Thursday, August 21st. This is the Christian Commute, and my Bluetooth is still playing. How do I stop that? Like that. I am your host, Seth Dunn, and you're going through the Buc-ee's car wash with me. I did not start in Dalton. I had to come to the UPS store to send a package back, and I chose to come to the Calhoun UPS store because the Dalton UPS store is back towards Chattanooga. Then I went to Panda Express and got the hot orange chicken because this is America, the land of opportunity and hot orange chicken. And I timed it perfectly. Guys, Buc-ee's gives you $1 off of gas per gallon, up to 15 gallons, if you buy the car wash. The car wash is $16. And I bought 15 gallons because my car was almost empty and my car's really dirty. So I'm getting my $1 car wash and starting the show from inside of the Buc-ee's car wash. It's not a full show for you today because I don't have any questions in the inbox. Nobody sent a question about Christian theology or apologetics to sethdunn88@gmail.com or dial 470-315-0875. So y'all keep those coming for the Christian Commute to be your roadside assistance. So today's very boring show topic is about what we talked about yesterday, sort of. This is called Bylaws and Church Membership. Bylaws and Church Membership. I might come up with a catchier title later, but that's what we're talking about. We're going to look as an example and as part of the Y Project at Rockbridge's bylaws. But let me tell you something. All these McChurch places, all of these seeker-sensitive goat churches with a coffee bar and the purple haze, Ayatollah Rock and Rolla, most of these Ayatollah and Rock and Rolla places have similar bylaws. Once they start talking to their church consultants, I just realized there's a bunch of background noise from the car wash. It is what it is. This is not a great show of, audio quality. All these Ayatollah Rock and Rolla churches, when they get their consultants in, they get the same boilerplate thing and they update their bylaws. So I'm going to guess these bylaws are very close to the bylaws you'd get at any multi-campus church that was started like it was some guy's business that doesn't have true voting membership. So that's what we're talking about. That's the teaser. But first, let's talk about the Bible chapter review. Luke chapter 9, verses 12 through 13. Luke chapter 9, verses 12 through 13. Jesus went off and the crowds followed him. Now the day was ending, and the 12 came together and said to him, "Send the crowd away that they may go into the surrounding villages and countryside and find lodging and get something to eat, for we are in a desolate place." But he said to them, "You give them something to eat." And they said, "We have no more than 5 loaves and 2 fishes, unless perhaps we go and buy food for all these people." And that's the end. That's verse 13. Well, that's loud. It's the high pressure hoses. I'm going to pause the Bible chapter review and go, that's it. Here's a future note to self. All right? I hope you all hold me accountable to this. Never start the podcast in the car wash again. I thought it would be easy. I could just read the Bible chapter review because I'm not driving and I'm moving through the car wash. Did you know, I think Buc-ee's has the world record longest car wash. This car wash is super long. Luke chapter 9, verses 12 through 13. Verse 14 mentions that there were 5,000 men. So if there's 5,000 men and everybody has a wife, and now the blowers are loud. I'm just going to sit through this. This is waiting music. Some money to the Y Project. Subliminal message. That is Christian Commute level production quality. I don't have a studio mixer. I don't do the sound effects from the computer. I do them all myself. All myself. 5,000 men. There's 5,000 men in the crowd. So if every man has a wife and every man has a child, that's 15,000 people. But we could guess that not every man has a wife. Only some of them would. And we can guess that not every man has a child, but some might have 2 children. So I think 15,000 people is a pretty safe estimate. So we can go maybe between 5 and 15,000 people. And they're in a remote area. I guess this is the first century version of Burning Man. Okay, they're in a very remote area. And the day is long. Or the day is over, I guess. I wonder if you feel like your pastor is ever preaching too long and that the Methodists are going to beat you to the Red Lobster. This is your biblical support. Even the disciples knew when to tell Jesus, hey, it's time to stop teaching and find some food. Don't know if that's a proper application, but you can try. Because who wants to wait in the lobby of Red Lobster on Sunday while a bunch of pagans and Methodists eat? But the disciples, number one, they think this is continuing in their series of actions where they think Jesus doesn't know. Lord, we're perishing. Don't you know there's a storm? We're going to perish. It's like, relax, y'all. I got this. You know, like, don't you know we got this problem, Jesus? And he goes, hey, Jesus, don't you know we have this issue? You better stop teaching. You must be so wrapped up in what you're saying, you're forgetting that they're hungry, right? So not only do they need food, they need a place to stay because they're out in the country, as we might say. Around here. They're in a desolate place. There's no place to eat. They are on I-16 between Dublin and Statesboro. I-16 between Dublin and Statesboro is a whole bunch of nothing. If you can find a gas station with a clean bathroom, you're lucky. So if you're on I-16 and you're between Dublin and Statesboro, maybe you're going to get some Chester fried gas station chicken. And I don't know if there's any place to stay either. That's a desolate area. By the way, I'm still drinking my Panda Express water. I have the cold water with the spicy chicken. But what is Jesus' response to the disciples? And like I say, what they're saying is a very common sense thing. We might all suggest this. I'm not trying to portray them as inept or not thoughtful. This is a very thoughtful thing to say. Send them away so they can find food. This is what he says to them. You give them something to eat. Now 5,000 people now, and they say, well, we got 5 loaves and 2 fishes. We don't have enough food to feed them. They're thinking in terms of their worldly limits instead of the unlimited nature of God. Because when you think about it, they've already seen Jesus tell it to stop storming, and it did. He's cast out demons. He brought Jairus' daughter back from the dead. And they still think, well, I guess if we had enough money for 5,000 servings of fish and bread, we could go buy some. Listen, not only is there not a restaurant in between Dublin and Statesboro, if you make it to Dublin or Statesboro, you go to Chick-fil-A or whatever they have there. I've eaten at the Chick-fil-A in Dublin. It's not like you have enough money for 5,000 chicken sandwiches. Because that's like $50,000. Chick-fil-A is expensive now. Because I'm not just going to buy somebody a chicken sandwich. I'm going to get them the combo. Chick-fil-A sells those little boxes. You get a sandwich, a cookie, and chips. I don't guess a drink comes with that. Maybe they'll charge you extra. But I think those boxes are about $10. We used to eat them a lot when I worked at Field Turf. We'd have those catered in. Those cookies are good. And sometimes they'll throw in a kale salad. They used to throw in a kale salad when it was new, and they're trying to push it. I don't think you get that now. So now the disciples have to go to Dublin, they think, and buy $50,000 worth of Chick-fil-A boxes with the cookie and the kale salad. They're thinking, like, well, I guess we could go buy it. And we don't have the money. So Jesus has said, you give them something to eat. And this is something they can't do, ... unless they do it through him. And with that, we'll end the Bible chapter review, and we'll pick up, Lord willing, Monday in verse 14. I say that because tomorrow is Friday, and I'm on a deadline. I'm working on a project that I need to get some stuff to some consultants, then they need it piece by piece to work on. So after I get home and go to my son's flag football practice, I'm going to go home, hang out with my family for a minute, and then I'm going to go down and get to work. I'm going to work as long as it takes. So I know what I need to do, and I think I know how to do it. And I'm hoping I can finish it by midnight, but I'm going to do it till I'm successful or I get too sleepy. And I don't imagine I will be in shape to wake up and drive to Dalton tomorrow, so I'm just going to work from home. And so no show for you, no ping pong opponent for my friends. Sorry, guys. I don't think anybody else cares about me being there or not. They won't miss me. And if they need me, they'll call me on Teams. Positive note for me, this Buc-ee's gas I just paid $1 off for, plus the $16 car wash. I don't spend the money. Driving to Dalton is 60 miles. It's 120 miles round trip from my house, and I get 20 miles to the gallon, so that's 6 gallons. Does it cost me 6 gallons to go to work? Does it cost me like $18 just to drive to work? That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. I'm going to save $18. If anybody's wondering how much the Christian commute costs, $18. Plus wear and tear on the car. All right. Let's talk about bylaws and membership. So in what I think is an admirable show of transparency, Rockbridge Community Church in Dalton, Chatsworth, Ringgold, Calhoun, and Hickson, and some might say online, they've published their church bylaws. And it's not a long document. If you're interested in such bylaws, you can go online and read it. I don't think it's longer than 10 pages, if that. And I'm all for short documents. We don't want Byzantine bylaws. And I'm going to tell you straight up, and I think I've mentioned this before, this is how the bylaws can be amended. By 90% agreement of the elders. 90% agreement of the elders can update the bylaws. And that may sound to you like a really high standard. Everybody's got to be in agreement. God's got to be in that to make 90% people agree. Well, maybe if God would make 100% people agree. I don't know. But you got to understand how the elders are appointed. Think about this. Think about how we send our representatives to Congress. Because this is how Presbyterianism works, by the way. State of Georgia is going to send their representatives to Congress. And then Tennessee and all the other 50 states. And all the people show up in Congress and they got to vote to pass laws. And of course, they all have different interests because they're from different places. Okay? Now, somebody's, well, the whole district, I know they're different campuses, but they're united in one accord. Well, that would be nice. That's not how that works at Rockbridge, because you know who appoints the elders? The other elders. So the lead pastor is the guy who's appointing the elders, and then the elders approve of the other elders. This is in the bylaws. So the people who need to agree 90% are the people who have appointed each other. So it's not like 5 or 6 campuses elected people and sent them. Not because that's how Presbyterianism works. You Presbyterians could say, "Oh, okay, they're not too bad." No. The elders were ultimately appointed by the lead pastor who founded the church, and it's been the same guy the whole time. And there's directional elders who are more powerful than the other elders. And the campus elders are basically customer relationship managers. So keep that in mind. Where is the ultimate power in these bylaws? Is it with the elders or is it with the members of the church? Is it with the people? The people! Is Bain, I give the power back to you, the people. Is it with the people or is it with the elders? Nah, it's with the elders, it's not with the people. And Bain didn't care about the people. Bain worked for Raj Al Ghul or whatever his organization was. The demon's head. He pretended to care about the people. Maybe these Ayatollah of rock and roll pastors are like Ra's al Ghul and Bane. You, the people. Victory has defeated you. All right, you fight like a younger man. Now listen. The people have basically no power to change these bylaws. None. Let's look at what the people, the church members, can do. Okay. The church members can approve the budget. They have to have a vote to approve the budget. Who makes the budget? The elders, the staff people do. So it's not like there's a committee of members who make the budget. The directional elders, I don't know if they have accountants who help them, they make the budget and they say, here is the budget. You guys can approve of this or not. I want you to think about it. Here's the budget. You have to approve of it. Now, let me ask you this. In the bylaws, does it say anything about having to spend in according to what the budget says? I make budgets, by the way, and they have to be approved. I'm about to make the budget for where I work. I'm going to make a bunch of them, okay? We got a whole bunch of companies. That where I work is a company that owns companies, and then I'm going to make the budget. I'm going to make the budget for my yarn mill. That's my budget for the yarn mill. So let's just focus on my yarn mill. I'm going to make the budget for my yarn mill, and I'm going to say, here's the budget for the salary. I'm going to say, here's all the people that work here. And this is what they make, and this is our salary budget. And I'm going to say, here is our budget for repair and maintenance. Let's say it's $1 million. I don't even know what it is. I'm just saying $1 million. That's my budget for repair and maintenance. And then we get into the year. After I made this $1 million budget, we get into October and we've spent $800,000. I'm like, man, we're really close with the budget. And then the machine just absolutely blows up. And they come in and say, we can fix your machine, but it's going to cost $500,000. Do you think we're going to say, I'm sorry, no, the budget's $1 million, we can only spend $200,000 more dollars. We're just not going to fix the machine. No, we're going to fix the machine and we're going to bust the budget. The budget is a guideline. But rarely, you have a budget at your house. You're probably not legally obligated to. Rarely is a budget something that must be legally adhered to. Now, we're going to try to stick to that hypothetical $1 million budget. And when we blow it, we're going to have to tell the bosses, we're going to have to tell the owners, hey, this is why we blew the budget. Sorry, we didn't know the machine was going to blow up. We have to fix it or we can't make stuff. So we got another budget too, and it's a budget of stuff we got to make and sell. And if the machine blows up, we can't do it. So here in item A, approval of the budget, do they really have that much power? Do they really have that much power? The budget is prepared for them. If they reject it, the same people who made the first budget are going to bring it to them. And even in churches with real membership, everybody rubber stamps these budgets anyway. B, the calling of a new lead pastor. The calling of a new lead pastor. Now I want to point this out, because you think, oh, there's where their power is, because they can call the new lead pastor and he's the one who appoints all the elders. They can't fire the current lead pastor. So I want you to think about this. Matt Evans has created a church where he's in charge of everything and can't be fired by the members. The only people who can fire him are the elders that he appoints and appointed. This according to the bylaws. So remember that the members cannot fire the lead pastor. The lead pastor can be found with a dead girl and a live boy, and the bylaws do not permit the members to fire him. If he can fool people into staying, after that they'll stay, and he's not fired. So they can call the new lead pastor, but much like the budget, I want you to think about this. When the time comes where the lead pastor role is open and they have to call a new one, who do you think is going to set a new candidate before them for a vote? A pastoral search committee of members? Or the elders? So the elders are going to put their guy in front of them. And I imagine this would be done through a consulting firm. If there's any purchase of land, if there's any unbudgeted capital improvements, acquisition of debt, or increases to budget over 1/12 of the prior year actual spend. Okay, so they can't buy land, unbudgeted capital expenditures. What would an unbudgeted capital expenditure be? Say a new sound system, but it's not in the budget. So if they put $50,000 for a new LED wall in the budget, they can buy that. But if they want another LED wall, well, that's not in the budget. That would have to be approved by the members. And by the way, think who's paying for it? It's the members. These are the people who are giving. They're the ones ultimately funding this. Okay. So when you talk about what is a New Testament church, it's people, right? You talk about, well, only the members can decide to buy new assets. Well, whoopity-doo. How often are you buying new assets and land, or going and getting loans to go into debt? And it's really funny. Increases the budget over 1/12 of prior year. How's that different from approving the budget in the first place? The members have to vote on merger and dissolution. The elders can change the bylaws all they want, but to merge with a different church or dissolve it, only the members can decide to do that. But I want you to understand this. Let's say a church wants to come along and absorb Rockbridge. Let's say they catch Matt Evans. I don't think this is going to happen. I'm not trying to besmirch this person's character, at least in that way. I think he's terrible. He might be a nice guy. Maybe one time he meant well. But he's a TED Talker preacher, so I don't really care much for what he does. I think he should step down immediately. But I don't know him, but I wouldn't think this guy's going to get called. But let's say, or do it, not just get called, but do this. But let's say Matt Evans gets called with a dead girl and a live boy. And people are leaving the church, and they can't afford much of it anymore. They're thinking, how are we going to pay our bills? We can't support all of these campuses and all these staff. The only thing we can do is merge. Even if we call the new pastor, he doesn't have the charisma and pizzazz to get us out of this. And we don't want to just fold up shop. So here's what we'll do. We'll call our friends at Cross Point to the south and ask them to merge and take over. And we'll just turn all these places into campuses at Cross Point. But we got to vote on it, right? And let's say the church doesn't like that. You know what the elders can do? The elders can do to go to Cross Point and say, we need you to keep us on as elders to help manage this place. And we're going to change the bylaws, and we'll just strike D, about merger and dissolution. We'll just get rid of that, and we'll make it where the elders can approve of that. You see a member say, oh, only the members can do that. Not if the elders decide they want to change it. The elders that no members can elect. Disposition of all or substantially all assets. So if the church just wanted to say, we're not going to go out of business on paper, but we're just going to sell everything, put the money in the bank, and then pay our staff. Sort of like retirement, right? If you want to retire, what do? You sell your business, you liquidate it. You could sell your business to someone and they could keep running it, or you could liquidate your business. You could sell all your assets, you could sell your client list, you could sell all your inventory, and you put all that money in you buy an annuity with that money, and it pays you for the rest of the year, and that's what you live on for the rest of your life in retirement. So what this is saying is the elders can't do that. The elders can't just decide we're going to sell everything and pay ourselves until the money runs out. If we want to dispose of all the assets or substantially all the assets, we have to have a membership vote. Number one, 90% of the elders can change that at any time, whether the members like it or not. Number two, they could just sell half the assets one year, half the next year, and half the next year, until they eventually get into Zeno's paradox, right? So if they had $10 million worth of assets, they could sell $5 million one year, put it in the bank. So hold on a minute. Well, we didn't want to sell half of it. Well, that's not all or substantially all. The next year, $2.5 million. The next year, $1.25 million. See how that works? That's a meaningless bylaw. It just means they can't do it all at once. And guess what? It's subject to change according to 90% of the elders, and the members can't do anything about it. And listen, F, the members can vote on any other matters as decided by the directional elders. So if the directional elders want to let the members decide, they can. Kids, this is when your parents let you decide where to eat. We're going to go out. Where do you want to go, kids? Pizza Hut! Pizza Hut! Okay, we'll go to Pizza Hut. I decided where we got to go. Yeah, because your parents gave you permission. They knew you might pick someplace they didn't want. And the truth is, your parents like Pizza Hut because Pizza Hut's awesome. Some breadsticks, play some arcade games, turn in a bucket sheet to get a free personal pan pizza. You go on lunchtime, they got a salad bar. But this show isn't about how awesome Pizza Hut is. Everybody knows how awesome Pizza Hut is. You do if you listen to this show. See, we have democratic authority. We have congregational authority as long as the directional elders let us decide to vote on something. Hey, listen. Let me talk to you a minute. This is my Matt Evans impression. Let me talk to you a minute, Ringgold campus. We love y'all. Y'all are one of the first campuses we started. I mean, y'all have just grown and really shown your love for people. And unfortunately, your pastor is stepping down. So we got to replace him. And, who better than you to decide who your new campus pastor is going to be? So we're calling a business meeting. The directional elders and I have decided you guys are going to call that next leader for yourself, that next local shepherd to keep on the mission there. So we're going to vote, and we've found the gentleman perfect for the job. His name is Brody Simpson. We're going to come down with Brody and have a meeting. He's going to share his heart with you, tell you about his family, tell you about his plans for ministry and God's call in his life. And then you're going to vote if you want to affirm Brody. You see how that works? Oh, we affirmed this guy. We voted on this guy. It's the guy they told you to vote on. We don't put Brody in there if y'all don't like it. Well, who else did you give us besides Brody? Who else did you give us to vote on? You see, you might talk to somebody from Cross Point, Rockbridge, say, we vote. No, you don't. I mean, you do, but your vote's meaningless. It's nominal. It's like the Queen of England. She's the head of state. Well, who's got the power? Well, the prime minister and the government. You know, the House of Lords and the House of Commons and the prime minister. Well, who's in charge? Well, King Charles. What can he do? Well, he calls the government to order. Guys, King Charles is the official head of state of Canada. Do you know that? You can look that up. He's on their money, I think. When does the King of England ever tell Canada what to do? It's nominal power. It's not real. So if you're thinking about a church that might need a why project on it, ask them for their bylaws. Can I look at your bylaws? I'm just considering your church. Don't say you're thinking about joining. That's the law. I'm considering your church. Yeah, see the bylaws. The people will never have power at these Ayatollah, rock and rolla, coffee bar, goat churches in the Purple Haze. They won't have it. Why? Because they don't trust the people to have the power. They trust the people to give the money and be manipulated. The James Griffins of the world, and the Matt Evans of the world, and the Stephen Furticks of the world, and the Andy Stanleys of the world do not want to be fired after they've put all this work into starting their small business. The bylaws will tell the tale. Yes, look to the Bible and see if they match up with that. But see if their bylaws let them. And this is how this works. And this is where we touch on what we talked about yesterday. I gave the example of the Way Church in Winder that really had no possibility for church discipline because they didn't have voting membership. If you look at the Rockbridge bylaws, how can a member be removed? Death. It's like you could die. You're not a member anymore. You could request a transfer to another church. I want to join another church. It says that. Or it says removal via church discipline. All right. What's the Bible verse on church discipline? Matthew 18, right? The chapter, not the verse, chapter 18. What do? Confront someone privately, then bring 2 or 3 witnesses if they don't listen. And if they don't listen to that, take it before the church. Take it before the elders? No, take it before the church. It's the church that decides whether we're going to treat this person as a Gentile or tax collector. The church who decides to put him out. Right? Wrong, according to Rockbridge's bylaws. The elders do it. The elders do it. I think it's the campus elders that do it. So you see how the bylaws conflict with biblical operation. I'd love to rest my case, but some people are just not going to listen to that. Be aware of the bylaws. Beware of the bylaws. Maybe I'll call this bylaws in the Bible. What, bylaws membership? Maybe bylaws membership in the Bible. We'll see. Anyway, I've got more joyous things to do, like watch my little boy practice flag football before I go make more database queries. Thanks for listening to the Christian Commute. Lord willing, I'll be back with you again Monday. As always, God bless, and as always, remember, Christianity is not about getting saved. It's about being saved.